every evening when the sun goes down, get with my party and I begin to clown. I don't care what the people are thinking. I'm not drunk, I'm just a drinking. I set 'em up, another round. I set 'em up, another round. I set 'em up, another round. One more round won't get me down.
She screamed and then she shut the door and then I realised I was in the women's changing room.
Oh, mate, that can only happen to you.
Anyway, welcome to episode 2 of Drinking with Fear. My name is The Fear, Pete Selby. Well, it's not The Fear, Pete Selby, but you know what I mean. Pete Selby, I am The Fear, and I am drinking today with Ben and Wayne once again.
Hello.
And
Thank you, hello.
I am on the Grolsch.
Ooh,
Do like a Grolsch.
good choice.
It's a it's a family kind of thing. Like,
It's the popping noise it makes, doesn't it? Because you get that little flippy top thing on the top
Which
of
I've
the
already
top.
done now,
Yeah,
so I
you can't
can't-
do
You
it
should have
again.
opened it on there.
I should have done. Well, there's always room for another. But no, my old man drinks or likes Grolsch, and that's how I started drinking Grolsch. So there we go.
It's a great choice.
What are you
I'll
drinking?
be honest, I've already had a couple before it came on. So,
Haven't we all?
yeah. I'm now onto Estrella.
Estrella.
You do like the old...
Oh,
It's
fancy.
another holiday beer. I know I mentioned it last week, but it's another holiday beer. It just doesn't taste quite the same. But yeah, it's nice. It's going down quite well.
Glassless as well.
Glassless. I don't like glasses.
Classless.
Yeah.
What about you, Wayne?
I'm going for a Peroni.
Peroni.
Ooh,
Yeah, we're quite
posh
continental, aren't we?
That's
So where's Grolsch from?
bit. It will say on the bottle somewhere.
it's Belgium.
Is it?
Yeah, I peeled the label off.
Sexual
Anyway.
tension.
So if you listen to the first episode, then first of all, well done.
Is it tension or frustration?
It's a bit away.
I can feel the tension, the sexual
He
tension in
keeps looking
here.
at me. You know, he's so opposite. He's got his wandering eyes.
That's just I'm wondering whether to actually glass you or to curb stomp you. I'm not quite sure yet. So well done to listen to the first episode. Once again, make sure you subscribe via the podcast access program of your choice, iTunes, SoundCloud, Audio Boom, whatever you use, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. It just means that you get the latest episodes as soon as possible. We established on episode 1 that Wayne and Ben have no such things to do with social media.
No.
Drinking Fear is the Twitter handle. We're on
Though
Facebook
I might
as well.
start,
Should
if,
do.
I want to support.
I do Facebook. Quite like Facebook.
Do we do Facebook up with this?
Yes, we do the face nets. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Anyway, so this week, I've got a story to tell. Something I read in the news. It's a good story.
Hit me with it.
You know, McDonald's, and you know the Monopoly game that they do.
I'm
Yes.
aware.
So for those who don't,
Have you ever actually taken part in this Monopoly game? So I like to tear them off. Just have you ever saved them and used them? Or...
no, not at all. No,
I think
I've
I've used one once.
I've never even gone back in
Oh,
with me.
we've
apple
used
pie.
them. Oh no, but the thing is, basically, when you get your Big Mac or your burger or whatever, for those who don't go to McDonald's, then when they do this promotion, essentially you peel off the side a little sticker, and it might have a free burger or a free drink or whatever, and you just go and hand the little sticker over, and you get the free stuff. Also, it has Monopoly board. It'll have Old Kent Road, it'll have Angel Islington, whatever. And I think if you set it all out, you win big prizes. And then there's basically the Mayfair, and if you get Mayfair, you win £100,000, £1,000,000, all that sort of thing. Huge prizes.
Astronaut money.
Big promotion. Well, anyway, there was this story I heard and read as well about this. It's in America, this guy who basically worked for the firm who were producing for McDonald's.
Okay.
And over the... Because this has been going for a long time.
Yeah.
This it's promotions.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
A
McDonald's
long,
announced it.
a long time. And basically, it comes in and out. It happens like twice a year or once a year, but every year. But anyway, he basically worked for the firm and that produced the stickers, etc., or whatever, in America. And he's been taken to court, or was taken to court, because over the space of a number of years, he was taking the prizes for himself.
Yeah,
Okay,
Nice.
but the thing is, you dig deeper into the story. It is amazing. It's a film. It's going to be a film. There's
I
no
hope so.
no two ways about it.
Who was
right?
playing?
Because basically, he didn't obviously claim it for himself, but he used to give people the prizes, And then obviously they claim it and he'll get money back.
Mm-hmm.
This didn't happen twice or 3 times or whatever. It happened over like a decade. Okay, it happened over years, and they reckon this guy got millions of pounds. So he basically, there was a little bit of a problem because he used a lot of people in his town, and then he was like, "Hang on, this town's winning loads of prizes." And then all of a sudden, he started to go over abroad, go other places in America, to like different cities to people he knew to say like, "Here's $100,000 ticket, like you claim it, and then give me it back in cash or give me half or whatever." And he did it over years and years and years.
Really?
They reckoned overall it was over $20 million.
No way.
$20 million.
It's like the Escobar of McDonald's.
That's
It's
quite
amazing.
impressive.
But he eventually he got caught by having all this money, and he just basically went too far. They the FBI got hold of it, and they
Why
basically
was he
set
still
up traps.
working for them if he's made that much money?
Why wouldn't you? It's easy money. It's free money.
Yeah, keep
Yeah,
going.
but you know, your first 5 million, you think,
Nah, he's got
I'm
greedy.
gonna chill
hasn't he?
out now.
He's got greedy.
No, but Wayne, that's exactly what you would say. It's greed. Okay, from a gambling point of view, I'm a gambler.
Okay.
Then basically that's what happens. You win a set amount of money, and once you're happy with that, that's what a normal person would do. But if you're a gambler, you carry on and on and on. That's where you've got to kind of have a bit of self-restraint. This guy obviously didn't, and you got to remember this is over years and years and years. So there could be maybe new promotions. Anyway, eventually the FBI got hold of the information, and they said, "Look, we've got to track this, track it."
I'm going to stop you there. The FBI actually got involved with McDonald's tear out monopoly thing.
What, £20 million fraud
Well,
with one of the biggest companies in the world?
It's a prize, though, isn't it? Surely, if he's going all around the world, and he's
No,
having them
but
out, there can't be a trace on that.
There was a few people, you put 2 and 2 together, and obviously these people who are organising the prizes, they're maybe even to the point of what they have in their lives, like maybe the employers like hire people to check just to make sure that they're not living a life of unbelievable luxury, because then that would maybe highlight the fact there's some fraud. Anyway, but they basically followed this guy who was like took a flight from like Mississippi all the way over to like Vancouver or whatever, and then gave some away, and they caught him, and it was a massive story, but no one knew about it. Do you know why?
Why?
When they caught him, what year do you think it was?
Oh, I'm going to say last year.
No. He went to court, and he went to court on the 10th of September 2001.
Really? It's still not been. It's still not gone down, or was it just been hidden?
No, the day before September 11th. It was a huge story, but completely wiped away. No one knew about it.
Yeah.
Because obviously the news was dominated by what happened. So basically, this massive story, which would have been headline news and around the world, like what a great story. As and I think the guys come out on bail or whatever, and you know all sorts of. But yeah, the story's basically resurfaced, and I read it. I was like, that is amazing. But what would you do? Like you'd have to play it cool, wouldn't you?
Would you say he's a greater hero than the farting security guard?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
If you didn't listen to last week's episode, the guy who recorded himself farting 100 times over months at work in Florida, the guy who sacked him, I don't know the whole story, but basically he made this video of him farting at work, like raising his eyebrow. It's the funniest thing you've seen.
Well, I've read up a little bit from last week, and apparently it was a high court, like the
Yeah,
mayor
like
or something.
some state minister guy.
Yeah, it was him. It wasn't the company that sent him down.
Florida, well known for being like a weird kind of state for that sort of thing.
Gators and don't like farts. Spring break, brilliant, but no, can't go trumping.
Paul Blart
But
knows how to
no,
fart.
On the back, so we're only going back probably about 6 months ago. There was a guy in Mexico that got sent down on a life sentence. So he's there with all the murderers and the rapists and all that, on a life sentence because he stole £2 million worth of fajitas. He worked in a fajita restaurant.
How many
For one
fajitas
time.
is that?
It was over-
Do
again,
they
it was
have
over a
£2
very-
million in stock?
It
No.
was over a very long
Of
period of
course.
time, but he was smuggling out fajitas and got a life sentence for it. Which just leads me to think, if he's sat in these cells, all these brutal people that have banged up women or murdered people and stabbed them and saying, "What are you in for?" mate?"
Okay. You be the guy who's
Okay, yeah,
the fajita guy.
I'm a fajita guy.
Wayne, you could be the prison guard, and I'll be the really hardcore murderer.
Don't be a nonce, though, Wayne.
So like
No, don't want to know that.
what that was. So you've
That's
just
the fat
Spanish,
show-
right?
That was the fat
Yeah,
show guy.
well, clearly.
So you are just going to throw him into the cell where I've already been for like all my life.
Right, go on. All right.
Got him.
Do your best.
Okay.
Yo.
Jesus Christ.
You have go in the cell.
This bit of casual racism.
this is-
Yeah.
This is not how I thought this would go. This has gone a
Okay.
different level.
You are being put in this cell because you're a thief.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Get in that cell right now.
Doing it. I'm in. Oh, who's this guy?
Hey, boy.
Hey.
Hey, boy.
Hey.
What are you in for? I'll tell you before you tell me, because the racist prison guard is gone now.
Hey, you guys, put your clothes back on.
Is he gone? Oh no, he's walking away now. He's gone. Now he can't hear me. He can't hear me anymore, so I can talk in my normal voice. What are you in for, boy?
Sold £2 million worth of heaters. I ain't doing accents. I can't do accents. No. Like yourself.
I wore 7 child's heads through 5 different
Yeah,
states.
it just wouldn't work.
Are you referencing Con Air?
I am
Yeah.
referencing Connor.
Yeah, the Steve Buscemi character, yeah.
Yeah, I can remember. That's pretty much what it was. Wasn't it?
Well, that's what's going to happen, though, isn't it?
I was meant to default. It's either Total Recall, Tremors, or Con Air
But this
on
bloke-
any scenario.
This
ever.
bloke is going to be someone's Mexican bitch, isn't he? Just because he stole some fajitas. He needs to say he's stole a bit higher, doesn't he? He was obviously quite good at it, 'cause he sold £2 million worth.
But that's the point, because if it was a fajita shop in the middle of New York, it's going to be quite expensive. So he wouldn't have to sell or steal or give away for free or whatever.
Mexico's dirt cheap out there.
Exactly. How much is a fajita over there? Like
How
nothing.
much was he stealing at a time?
Well,
Because
I
£2
don't-
million
I didn't read into it that
is a
much,
lot.
remember, I can't
What were they
read.
made out of? Gold.
Possibly.
Actually, probably
Possibly,
something
they don't-
else rather than gold. To be perfectly
Maybe
honest.
sport didn't go into it that well. But...
Did they have a competition? Did they have a competition where you had to peel off on the side and you have a win a prize?
I bet they did. I bet they did.
So anyway, I'm sat here with Ben and Wayne, as we know, and Wayne I've known for longer
For a
than
long
Ben.
time,
Well, funny
yeah.
enough, we were on about Facebook earlier. Like
Sorry
it came
to
up
hear
the
that,
other day about us being friends for 10 years. Ben.
Yeah, I've never been your friend for 10 years.
No, exactly.
I've known you.
Yeah, but not been your friend.
Yeah, not at
10.
all, no.
One moment,
Facebook's a liar.
fleeting seconds. No, but I've known Wayne for a long time. But we used to live together, actually, Wayne, didn't we?
Oh shit, yeah.
And there's one great thing about Wayne, because he's, as you can tell, people who don't know him, quite softly spoken compared to the harsh raspiness and gravelly kind of street voice of Ben, and obviously me, the sophisticated kind of
Wanker.
yeah. So basically, when we lived together, the next door neighbours were these 2 girls who played rugby, quite boisterous, quite mellow in a way, but like they were a bit over the top. We were like, hang on, rabbit in headlights kind of thing. So basically, Ben, Wayne wasn't there for the first night for whatever reason, no idea why, but he wasn't around. So me and Hallam, who lived there as well, basically we told the 2 girls next door that Wayne has just got let out of prison, but we didn't do it in a style of like
Yeah, I know. It's nice.
Look at
isn't it?
him.
no, but we didn't do it in a style of we just dropped it in a conversation. It was expertly done. The main reason it's expertly done is because Hallam is such a fool. I just said, don't say anything, I'll do it all. So I did it all.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And I was completely genuine. And also, they were a bit stupid as well. Especially one of them. With the word Jenna was
Well,
stupid.
that
She ain't
just-
listening to this. If you are Jenna, hi, how you doing? And Shell, I've not even mentioned you yet. Like, you're fine. But like, basically, I told them that Wayne had just got out of jail, but for he knocked his girlfriend around for a bit.
No way.
Yeah.
So for people listening, so you look, Wayne, you look a little bit like Arnie Zip from The Simpsons, really. That's
Who?
Arnie Zip from The Simpsons. That's that sort of like Marge's. I wouldn't even say like love interest. You fancy her?
Okay.
You look that sort of character. You're very well presented, sort
I
of.
am.
That's an
I'm very
amazing
well
reach, by the
presented.
way, from The Simpsons.
Yeah,
I know you're
love
aficionado
The-
on The Simpsons,
I
yeah,
love
but
The Simpsons.
But yeah, I remember at the time moving in, and
I said like don't mention it to him because like
you
it's
don't look like a wrong un, mate.
it was a
I
reaction.
don't.
It
But
was
maybe that was the point.
It was a
maybe.
reaction thing. It was basically like he did it, and it was just a reaction. But unfortunately, there was witnesses there, and he got so it only went down for like 6 months or so. But it was just one of the things, and he must just put it behind him. Like doesn't really want just make sure you don't mention. but I have to tell you it because obviously we've just moved in next door, and it's just one of the things. Complete straight face.
Sorry, Pete,
and,
I've got a brilliant story on the back of
and
this.
and basically we did that. So anyway, Wayne turns up, has no idea
It
about
went
the story.
on for weeks.
It went on for
sat
ages.
there, and him and Helen would like go around and visit and say hello, and I'd come along round and like I'd try to be friendly and everything, and they were just giving me these like fucking death stares this whole time, and
They
I'm
fully
like,
bought into it. No point of
what's going on?
They had no idea.
And I can't remember how it came around that I found out.
We
But
just told
I
you.
don't know if it just got awkward.
I think you
eventually.
just must have said like, they don't like me. It's been like a week or two.
yeah, oh yeah.
And we're just sitting
it's
there
like,
Don't know why.
dying laughing.
Jen has maced me, and I don't know why.
But anyway, we told it, and I always remember one of them obviously didn't know at all, and she was just like, "Oh God, I can't believe it." And the other one, the more cleverer one, which again sounds horrible, but she was a very clever girl. She looked at me and just went, "I've known for about a day, but there's been a good 2.5 weeks where I had no idea." She goes, "For a day, I've just kind of gone, hang on, this is bollocks." But yeah, so Wayne, we're convinced next door neighbours that he knocked his girlfriend out. What's yours?
Can I raise that a little bit?
I love you too.
I'm going to trump it a little bit. So I'm going back probably 10, 12 years ago, and it was an ex-work colleague's birthday. It was his 30th birthday party. The fact it was an ex-work colleague and I'm being invited to his 30th birthday party shows the amount of friends that this person might have. And my friend Dave was still currently working with him. So invited me along more as company for Dave to go to this birthday party.
Is that Dave who's just had a kid and Dave?
That's the one, you know.
Yep. Dave who lobbed Russell Holt from the halfway line, Dave.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
Carry on,
that's
sorry.
It was Ryan Giggs.
Mm.
But yeah. So these so to describe this group of people that were at this party, it was a Mexican in Leicester, and these people get together and do reenactments of civil wars.
Was this just before the owner had been sent to jail for selling fajitas for £2 million?
That's the one. Yeah,
Right,
yeah. So it was just boring, if I'm honest. Really terrible night. I'm trying to talk to Dave. Everybody else just really, really quiet, not doing anything. And then at one point, I said to Dave, "So I've got to go to the little boys' room." And Dave goes, "Whoa, wait, no, you know what the judge says? You can't go near little boys anymore." Which he thought was hilarious. Nice turn around and said, "Whoa, mate, no, you know we can't talk about that." And then left, thinking it would just be left at that.
No one's heard it.
Yeah,
It was a joke that didn't really work.
yeah. So I went
I
to
liked it.
So he goes to the toilet, washes my hands, of course, comes back out, and I sit down, and everyone's staring at me.
It's a vital thing about the washing of hands.
And I've got no idea what Dave has said, but one of them chirps up and says, "We want to hear this story." But there's no story. There's no story at all. But
Did you make one up?
Yes, I made up a story on the spot just to keep pace. Is what it is.
Keeping face about molesting children?
Well, yes.
Okay, I'll let you carry on.
So, yeah, off the cuff, completely off the cuff, just there and then.
Off the cuff, he says.
Yeah, well, I used to drive a Toyota MR2, and it's a very hot day. You can obviously take the top off your car, really hot. I like to show off a little bit because I was quite young. So I was driving down the road one day, and a bee flew into my car. So panicked a little bit, jumped out of the car to try and get this bee out, and it flew up my shorts. But I was on the way to going swimming. So I was wearing my swimming shorts, and then obviously with those swimming shorts, you just get like the inner netting. You don't get any pants that are on underneath it. So I just jump out of my car, drop my trousers, but it was outside my primary school. At the time,
They believe this.
Yes, they did. But the thing that they believe most is because I was telling someone, and Dave was laughing throughout all of this.
I'm not
As
surprised.
I was going on.
He was thinking,
But I kept-
what a
Yes,
twat.
I was trying to
Basically, to all the
badge it
others, saying, like, I can't believe they're buying this.
Yeah, and so yeah, it was outside a primary school, and I dropped my pants, and all these kids were there. But the problem was, my mum was a dinner lady at this school, and my mum was. You always had the most popular dinner lady at school that you always like crowded to whenever anything went on, and they knew where we lived. So all the kids, when they would go home from school, they would knock on the door, see if Mrs. Roper's there, and she'd come around and say hello. But a lot of the time, I would go in and like open the door and let the talk to the kids.
Wayne used to call his teacher man by accident.
Really?
Yeah, I was in the same class at A-level. Carry on.
Yeah, So unfortunately, all these kids knew exactly who I was, and they said, "Oh, that's Mrs. Roper's son, just there." And all these mums were there, and all I can see was me stood outside. It wasn't a long time I dropped my shorts in front of him, but I had to get rid of the big, so I'm flapping around a little bit, gets into the car and drives off. And they're absolutely buying into this completely. Dave's pissing himself in the background. I say, well, he's laughing now. It's no different. When I got took to court with all this, I had to go and explain myself.
What is the interview like? It actually. How did these people get let through?
But,
they meant to sit out the worst.
So what's Dave? I said, yeah, but that's exactly how it was when the court was reading out his judgment, wasn't it? Or the judge was reading out his
judgment.
He said, yeah, his judgment. That's the word.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've had a couple before I came round. Told you.
The judge and his judgment.
Yeah.
And cloud in your judgment.
Yeah, and they were absolutely pissing themselves in the background whilst I was trying to tell the story about it. Oh, and they were convincing by saying, and so as an end result, the judge believed me, everything that they'd said. But unfortunately, you can't take a non-harsh line on getting your dick out in front of a primary school. So they put me on the child sex offenders register, but it was only for 6 months, so I'm all right. So I just got to stay clear of it from there. And this story went on for ages. They were absolutely wetting themselves by the end of it. Thought it was amazing, but fully believed everything that I said. So I don't know. I must have a face.
So how did you explain the erection?
Hey.
Obviously, we've spoken about really important issues like the Monopoly board at McDonald's, the Monopoly game.
And the child sex offenders register.
You two being basically bluffing people that you've been in jail for all
Me
sorts.
Bluffing? It was you.
I never went to jail. The judge believed every word that I said.
Okay, we told them that you've been in jail. The final thing for this week is, and it's a very broad question, but it's something that I feel really strongly about. Now, for me, people use the term, first world issues and all that sort of thing. There's no such thing as first world issues. An issue is an issue. Now, I think, in my opinion, considered educated, professional opinion, the worst thing right now, and has been possibly for the last 20 to 30 years in the world.
Wow.
The worst thing in the world is, and still is, pure orange juice with bits in.
Oh, I don't know about that.
The serious,
I won't go with world, but I'm not a fan.
There is no
I am.
civil reason to have bits in orange.
Of course
If you want orange juice with bits in, you just crush an orange juice, chop it done. But if you're buying or you're using a jug that's got orange juice in, for example, at breakfast at a hotel or whatever,
is it called pulp?
You're using a
pulp. Pulp.
You've got an orange juice that's been pasteurized. It's been made to be smooth and nice, and it's orange juice, not bits in. You name another drink that's got bits in like that you want. There's no human reason why, and no one likes it. If someone says, if there's option for no bits and bits, no one chooses the bits. If they do, they should be shot, and not maybe shot. That may be too good for them, but it's terrible. And even more worse than that is when they don't even tell you. They don't have the courtesy to say, by the way, it's got bits in. You have to actually.
Why would they give you courtesy of that? You ask for an orange juice, they're giving you an orange juice.
If you have an orange juice, it's got bits in, and don't tell you, by the way, it's got bits in. Imagine that. You sat down, got a nice meal, and you drink have a glove, and all of a sudden it's got bits in.
Of an orange.
Yeah, not the bits.
Yeah, you don't want an orange that's mashed up. You want an orange juice.
I don't mind it. I quite like it. But last week...
You don't mind it?
We sat... No, not at all.
I'll burn your house down.
Last week, we sat around this table, and I raised the point of a nice bourbon, and not putting things in there, and you fired back at me saying that no, it's fine, you can add a little mixture and make it how you like.
JD and Coke and bits in orange juice.
God, it's exactly the same. So it's whether somebody wants the pulp or something in there, because you get an extra taste. There's still juice in the pulp that goes through.
Little bits that get...
What offends you about those little bits?
It's a drink. Drink's a drink. It's horrible. You want to drink.
Why is it horrible?
You want to drink. You don't want bits of the old thing.
Why not? Why? What does that do to you?
You know when you drink tea, do you drink tea with the bits of tea leaves in?
No, because the tea doesn't taste nice. That's why it's kept in the bag and it goes off. But the pulp, are you saying that when you eat an orange, you're offended? Have you ever eaten an orange before?
Yeah, but I generally like.
He doesn't drink an orange. He eats an orange. Yes, there's going to be bits
when you eat some Wayne from the back row. Wayne.
I don't agree that it's like the worst thing in the world.
If you have a Britvic orange or something like that, that's got bits in it. Is it? No, I'm sure it's like a Britvic or something. I'm sure you get something from like when you go to Sainsbury's, you get like a meal deal for £3. It's always got the orange juice with the bits in it. I'm fine with it.
No, it doesn't. It has smooth or bits.
Do you
can choose.
enjoy peanut butter
No.
at all?
I said that in a really weird way as well.
Yeah.
Very Kenneth Gray.
Yeah, well,
Kenneth, no, can't remember his name. Williams.
yes, I was just going to
Kenneth Gray.
let
Yeah.
that hang for a while. No. I said no whilst I was thinking about it. No, I don't. Do you know what? I've never really had it before.
What about
You've
pickle?
never had peanut butter? Really, before?
I haven't. Don't
I
like nuts.
can't remember.
I don't like nuts. I don't mind peanut butter. As long as it's
See,
smooth.
if I was to talk about things that I don't like, I'd worse things about. I'd probably put peanut butter in there.
No. We can't talk about what we like and what we don't like because it's the most.
It's got to be the
it's
things
horrible.
that are terrible in the world. The
From
worst
my-
things in the world.
From my
And if yours
position
is-
right now,
You have a pretty privileged life, if that's as bad as it gets for you.
I'm putting my hands up and going. Fair play.
Personally, one of mine is Dynamo, the magician.
The Bradford-born.
It's terrible. I don't
How is it
understand.
terrible?
You do realise he's very
the
ill
man
as well.
is like.
Is he?
The man's really ill.
Oh, okay, we'll soon, Dynamo.
Is he ill? I didn't know he was ill. You know, but
Raising
that's
a glass of
not
Dynamo.
You
my
hating on a guy
issue
who's
with
really-
the guy.
Last week's Barry Chuckle will.
Oh,
It's like
no.
he's a magician. He's an entertainer, apparently.
He walked on the
But
Thames.
he has
He did.
no charisma at all. And it just offends me that someone is that well known and gets on the TV and does all that kind of shit, and he makes a living doing that when anyone else has more charisma than him.
I
I
don't
like
think
it.
I don't think he's on there for his charisma, though, is he?
Well, that's part of it. He's a magician. He's an entertainer. That's
He's
can
mad.
get
He's
you
second
places.
to none, though.
No, but it can get you places though. Being a magician, and
he
having
should be the
charisma.
tech guy.
Penn and Teller had a
telling
guy that
someone-
didn't talk.
Yeah, but they had a guy who did talk, who talked a
Oh,
lot.
So just make it Penn.
That was
get
the
rid of Teller.
shtick. I mean, I'm not saying that Teller had charisma. He didn't talk, but he was still more entertaining than that motherfucker.
Because he raised an eyebrow every now and then.
Indeed, yeah, and
Okay.
it was still more charming
There's
than
more
whatever
charisma
Dynamo
in Teller's
does.
eyebrow than what there is in Dynamo.
Are you saying there's not?
Yeah.
You
He's
saying
alright, It's nice lad.
Well, what I would say is that charisma gets you along a lot of places. If you're a magician, look at Paul Daniels. You know, with Devon McGee is what do you call it? As Mrs. Merton said, what first attracted you to the millionaire Paul Daniels? But the guy was charming. He was a charming guy. Like he came across well on TV, and with McGee for all that time. But so you just don't like Dynamo because you don't fancy him?
It sounds like that.
Essentially,
Yeah, there you
I
go.
think if you've got someone who's that big an entertainer and does all those venues and does all his magic and goes on all those TV shows, I should have at least some kind of reason to watch him, and I don't.
Final thing though, if you knew he was really ill, would you still say the same? If you say no,
When you say
I hate you.
when you say really ill, what's up with it?
oh my, I don't know, but he's put like about 10 stone on.
Is he really?
Yeah, because he's a very thin guy.
He was very
He
thin.
was.
But now he's
Like an Adonis.
a bit like Prince Nazim the boxer.
Yeah.
Now, if you know what I mean, like if you
Well,
knew
that's
him,
not ill.
no, but you knew him as a thin guy. Now he's actually really quite big.
He's not ill though. He's just
No, but
One-
I
one
can't
old thing.
remember
Are
what
you
he's
saying
got.
he's just fat, or is he actually?
No,
poorly?
he's put on weight because of the illness he's got.
Okay.
it's glandular.
Then
I feel really bad about it now.
I don't feel terrible.
If you didn't know, you don't know, did you? It's not
I
your fault.
didn't know, but I still didn't like it. I mean,
You
that
shouldn't-
doesn't
you shouldn't feel
change
bad.
anything.
So my biggest hatred. They're not dying, so I feel quite comfortable.
So in the
with
whole
this.
world, we've got orange juice with bits in, Dynamo.
And
I'm throwing in Tesco's Express. And it's not about Tesco's Express, it's the people that use Tesco's Express because it's meant to be for an express. And what I can't stand, so I'm a smoker, so I quite often use my Tesco's Express to go in there and get my fags because I'm expecting to walk in, grab what I want, and then go. And I cannot stand people that do their weekly shop in a Tesco's Express. There's other supermarkets around the corner that you can quite easily go to. It'll probably cost you less. But I'm queuing for you with your 2 baskets full of stuff on a conveyor belt. Well, it's not even a conveyor belt, so they're just packing stuff up from there. But secondly, you get loads of old people that go in there that don't want to use the self-service checkout because they feel that it's wrong. And so I want some cigarettes, so I want the service of the person over there, and they would just sit there and bag up. Feel free to join in, but you're staring at me as if I'm wrong on this one, though.
I'm just starting to think that
I might be onto something with the bits in the orange juice.
Not at all.
not so
No,
much
not
as
at
that if these are our worst complaints, that surely there's there's something worse out there
I don't think
that
so.
we could be thinking of.
I think it's worse things than
Don't get all sacrimonious on us now. Bloody
Yeah.
hellfire.
Yeah, well,
Don't get all
I'm
high
sure
and mighty.
child famine.
I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that will agree with me. It's queuing up for your fags, and you've got an old deer in front of you with 2 baskets full of shite. There's wanting to pay for those because I don't want to. I don't believe in having a self-service checkout over there. Well, I don't have the option.
I've got okay. So maybe not just Tesco's, but genuine like old people, basically. You don't like
I hate old people.
You hate
Yeah.
old people.
Yeah.
I will say that a friend of
Love you,
mine,
Gran.
who we've actually mentioned
My
on.
Gran's gonna listen to this.
We've mentioned on the program already. Well, mentioned
She
on this
tweets.
episode at least. He sold a car on eBay, right? And it was sold for in cash. He didn't actually complete the transaction. His girlfriend did. So when he arrived back, basically the guy had come to buy the car and paid in cash as was agreed, and she'd taken the cash, sat in the front room. He then turns up and goes, "Oh, here's the cash," and he's like, "Oh," and he starts looking at the money, and they'd just changed the £20 notes over to the new ones, and this guy had paid for a car in now out of date £20 notes. Now
Well, you can still get them
anyone,
back from the bank, though, can't you?
it was a few months away before, so it got to the point where they were still legal tender, but to go and change essentially thousands of pounds is a bit of a weird thing. Now, if that happened to you, all of a sudden, if you came across, it's not the right amount of money, but I'm just going to say £5,000, or no, sorry, 10 grand, for example, in cash, old notes.
Yeah.
What would you do? Personally, I would find as many of my friends as possible, give them all the same amount of money and say, you go to your own bank and bank this, and then bring it back and give it me back in normal money, in new notes. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And if you spread it around enough, it means everyone can do it. You know, you're talking 500 quid each or less than that each. But this guy went to a Tesco's Express and bought the smallest amount of thing, like a Freddo, into the self-service and put in a £20 note to get change. And he did this with thousands of pounds of money.
What a legend. I love this bloke.
It's brilliant.
That gives you coin change, right?
Yes. But if you basically he went and bought stuff out of it and got the change, which is obviously legal tender. The £20 note still worked in the things.
Yeah.
But there you go. That's what he couldn't sit on the amount of cash for a while. If it was
Those Freddos ain't as cheap as they used to be.
no, they weren't.
No,
But let's just say
they are, though.
if the amount of cash was a tender that was absolutely fine, then you could keep it. You could say keep it and use it for whatever. But he had to get rid of it, and he instead of giving it to people to bank or whatever, or even just going to the bank himself, he spent.
I'm sure it'd been fine if you went to the bank.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I'd
it
have just
would've
gone
been
to the
fine.
bank.
I know,
would've
but to
gone
use
to
a
the bank.
Tesco's Express self-service machine.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Imagine.
Brilliant. You tell that story for the rest
Would
of
they
your life.
even have £5,000 worth of change in them?
It may not have been £5,000. It was.
He had to do it in one day.
It was. Oh no, not in one day. Over the course of up until that note was then not legal. So he's got like 3 months or so, and in 3 months he managed to turn over.
Was it Dynamo? Is that why it's put
It
on
wasn't
10 stone?
Is it Dynamo?
That's why it's put on 10 stone. It's
Fuck
'cause
that
it's just
guy.
full of Freddos.
It wasn't. Honestly, it was that, and he bought fucking orange juice with bits in.
I'd like to pet you before I go. I'll be back tomorrow night so we can drink some more. I don't care what the people are thinking. I'm not drunk, I'm just drinking. I said more, another round. I said more, another round. I said more, another round. One more round, get me down. Another round.